Hey, excuse me. Can I get your advice on something, please?
Sure.
All right, well, what it is, I'm just on the way to a shopping mall, and it's my friend's birthday. She's a girl, and I've left it to the last minute, but I need to get her something. And actually, I was looking at you, and you've got very similar styles, so I wondered, do you have any ideas for like a cool birthday present? I don't know, $30 to $70. What do you think's good?
What's the nature of your relationship?
Oh, friend. She's just a friend, like, for a few years.
Does she like music?
Yeah.
Well, I would say it's always better to get something that's an experience than something you can hold. So maybe cheap concert tickets.
Nice. Yeah, that might be good, actually. And there's this box office place. I could go and see what they've got and see. So, yeah, very good. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'm Richard, by the way.
Brenna.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
In situations like a coffee shop or in the daytime, an opinion opener works very well to get you into a conversation. And notice that you don't stay standing, you make sure that you sit down in the process of asking the question to get you sitting together. So it's the correct option. So, do you come here often to this coffee shop?
No, not really.
No? First time maybe? Second time?
I've been here a few times.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You go to other coffee shops usually, or just not much coffee drinking going on? Or you take it away maybe?
I do all of those things.
All of them. That's cool. Variety.
Yeah.
They say variety is the spice of life.
They do.
So it's good that you don't come here often and do the same thing and sit in the same chair, right?
Yeah, I think so.
That's good. We always want to stay away from the standard questions, the standard answers, and this one is just an example of the usual lame stuff that guys come up with, so don't do it.
So how are you able to be free in the middle of the morning on a Thursday?
Well, I do have a job, but it's kind of from the laptop, from home, or from anywhere. But it's like internet stuff, and with America, so in Europe, I need to wait until they wake up and whatever, so I'm kind of free. And then can be working at home, lying in bed, lying on the balcony, generally lying down, working.
That's nice.
So that's cool. And how about you? How come you're not at work now?
Well, I work at the university, so I have kind of an unusual schedule. I have some free time during the day, and I work in the evenings.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you teach at the university? That's interesting.
Yeah.
And tell me, do you actually like what you do, or you do it just for money?
No, I really do like what I do.
Great. You feel like you're making a difference in people's lives and all of this?
Yeah, I actually do. I feel like what I do is important, and that the information I convey will be valuable to these people and to my students.
That could be true, because I still remember my teachers from primary school and in secondary school. I don't know if you're the same, but did you like the subjects most where the teachers were good? And then later maybe you weren't even interested in that subject. So a good teacher can just change the whole course of someone's life.
Absolutely. And like looking back and thinking, what years of school are your favorite? It's like, well, whatever year you had the good teachers, because what you learn is kind of irrelevant.
And you're a good teacher? They like you?
I think so. I hope so.
That's cool.
I try.
No, I like it, to be honest, because it's very rare. You know, most people just do their job for money, and then they come and moan about it and they hate it. So it's good to meet someone like you who actually enjoys what they do and is making a difference.
Thanks.
This is a nice thing that you can ask anyone, so well done for picking this. It's the right option, and it can always lead to an interesting conversation. Whether she's into her job, she can tell you why, or she's not, and she can tell you something else that she's passionate about. And what's your subject? What do you teach?
American culture.
Huh, what does that entail?
So kind of quite a few different themes. For example, we kind of started with an overview of American values, which was really interesting.
Like freedom and stuff, yeah?
Things like that, and even more so, for example, an interesting one is how Americans relate to the future. Like it's something we feel like we can control in some sense. And
like Back to the Future, the movie.
I don't know what you mean.
Okay, but Americans think that they control their own destiny,
Yeah.
kind of, yeah? In American culture, what's that? It's like George Steinbeck, Edgar Allan Poe, and all that stuff? Or?
Sure, that's part of it. Yeah, I think my focus is more on what we could call contemporary culture.
Britney Spears,
Sure,
Kanye.
sure, that is all
Yeah?
relevant. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it must be really interesting for the students. They're not learning about things thousands of years ago.
Yeah, I think so. And just kind of seeing how the Kanyes and the Kardashians, how their influence reverberates through American society and how that affects how Americans think.
And why is it useful for the students?
Because a lot of these students aren't going to stay in their home country, and at some point they'll be interacting they'll either be in the United States or just interacting with Americans, and to have some perspective on their psychology or their ideology, whatever it is.
I guess it's
useful.
important, right? Because American culture is pervasive, it's kind of
It could
everywhere.
be said, yes.
And seems to lead the world. I know that in England we're always like a few years behind America with all the trends and everything, and it all follows, and then Europe a little bit later. But no, it's pretty cool then. And more than that, it must be really interesting for the kids.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. When someone has something that they actually care about in their life, you don't want to tease them about it or denigrate it. So it's good to give them some validation on something like this, the job that she's obviously passionate about.
I really enjoy my job, but there is this one little thing that's very frustrating for me. I've got this problem where I can't print all the copies that I need, but I want my students to all have their own copy to take home, but then I have to go to the printer like every day, and it gets kind of expensive. So what do you think I should do?
Well, look, I mean, we all have these problems at work, and if you've got this colleague that you don't like, then you can just ignore them, or I don't know,
What?
deal with it somehow.
A colleague
Yeah, you had problems at work or something, right?
about printing.
Ah, printing. Well, that's okay. Yeah, got it. So maybe just use the screen instead of printing or something like that. iPads. Get them to bring their iPads. Oopsie, looks like you got distracted by the sexy girl. Don't blame you, but kind of messed things up with this one, didn't it? Ah, well, that's bad. So I guess you don't have enough papers for the students and stuff, yeah?
Yeah, that's part of it.
I guess you can ask for more allowance or get them to share, but yeah, it's annoying. Well done, you weren't distracted by the sexy chick that walked by, and that's something that, you can use out there. Well done for paying attention and getting the right response. So you got your teaching thing, and what else is important in your life? What else do you love to do?
I really love dogs, and I love to travel.
Travel?
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you travel a lot?
I've traveled quite a bit these last couple of years, especially.
Nice. And where are some places you've been?
In Europe, I've been in Prague, Russia, Ukraine, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia.
Nice. All of Eastern Europe and kind of
Yeah.
former USSR, yeah?
Yes.
Nice. And tell me, what's the absolute best place you've seen? If people who have never travelled anywhere say, where's the best place that I should see? Where is it?
I would actually say that you should go to the United States and go see the Grand Canyon. It's amazing. I can't do it justice with words, but it's wonderful.
Okay. Grand Canyon, yeah, I've never been there, but I'd like to go. Maybe, go to, what's a good trip? Go to New York, go to LA, San Francisco, Vegas, and then it's somewhere near there, isn't it? So
It's over there, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in that region. And then go down there, could hang out for what's good, 2 days? Or
I think
just
2
a day
days.
trip?
You could do it in a day, or 2 days would be better, but one day you could do that, yeah.
I always wanted to go since I saw Superman 2, when they go down on the, he goes down on the donkey because he's too scared to go on the flying things, and then Superman comes and they have their base in the Grand Canyon. So it was, when I was a kid, it was good. I always wanted to go. You should watch it, Superman, classic.
Oh, okay. If it's got the Grand Canyon in it.
This is coming back to you, relating everything to yourself. It's not the best answer and it's not necessary. You can keep the conversation focused on her at this point. Oh, should I say that? No. Oh. I've run out of things to say. You've got a necklace on. Was it a present or
Yeah,
you bought it?
It was a gift.
Does it have a special memory?
No, not really.
Okay, cool. Wrong choice. Now, this is actually what 95% of guys do, but in this case, it shows weakness and just not good. Tell me some things you like to do for fun.
Well, as long as I can remember, I've always loved playing volleyball, so that's something I try to do whenever I can.
Nice. I played it at school. They had it in my school, but since then I didn't. But I go to Barcelona a lot and they play on the beach. Do you play beach volleyball?
I will, yeah.
Oh, very
in a
nice.
pinch.
Are you very good?
Yeah.
You can do that where you jump and smash it down? Cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's harder on the beach because the nets are higher, but yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, it's a cool hobby. And anything else you do?
Yeah, probably the thing I do the most is study Russian for hobbies.
Russian?
Yeah.
I meet loads of people that speak, French, English, obviously Spanish, German. But Russian, it's really rare to meet someone who speaks Russian. It's pretty cool. How come you chose that?
I don't really have a good reason. When I was in high school, I had the opportunity to do a study abroad, and my choices were France and Russia, and I didn't want to go to France. So I went to Russia, and then I just never quit.
I actually like that you chose something tough and that you stuck with it. And, like I said, most people take the easy options all the time. So it's interesting and cool that you did that.
Thank you.
Nice one. When a girl has something that is a real talent, something that she should be proud of, something she's worked hard on, that's the kind of thing you don't want to tease her too much on. So, say well done, say you respect that, and say why. And then go deeper into it because, you need to find out why she would do that, why she was interested, what would make her spend the time on it. And it's going to lead to interesting conversation, make her feel good as well.
I noticed you have an accent. Do you mind if I ask where you're from?
England, actually.
Whereabouts?
Was born in London, but actually, you know what? When I was young, I lived in South London, and they have a strong accent there. It's like South London and things like this. But because I travelled a lot and I moved, I've lost most of my accent. But do I still sound British to you?
Yes, very much.
Oh, that's good. So you like the English accent?
Yeah.
Yeah, most people like it. They say it's kind of sexy, but maybe that's just when I speak it. But it's quite interesting actually being English because in some places like America, we have a very good reputation. And then some places like Spain, where all the English people go and kind of party and like the hooligans go drinking and stuff. So their reputation's quite bad. But how do you find it being an American and traveling?
It depends on where you're at, but I guess generally people have kind of negative stereotypes about the United States and Americans, but I don't know. It seems that a lot of people are willing to take you and judge you individually and not.
That's good, right?
Put on a bunch
There's
of. Oh yeah.
We're lucky. We don't have any real racism or anything really bad against us. Almost anywhere we go, right?
Yeah, that's true.
This is the right choice, and it's always interesting to talk about cultural differences so it can lead to some nice conversation. What do you like to do in, I don't know, for fun, like in the evening? Because you study Russian and whatever, but do you drink, dance, anything else?
All of the above, yeah.
Yeah? At the same time?
When the mood strikes, yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I like going out sometimes, cocktail bars, different bars. Do you smoke shisha?
Hookah.
Yeah, hookah you call it in America, right?
Yeah, I have from time to time. I'm not a huge fan, but
I quite like it. They say it's
Yeah.
really unhealthy, but
it
I think
seems unhealthy.
once a month. But you don't cough after it, so therefore, I don't
It's
know.
healthy?
Yeah. So we need to do it sometime, like shisha, hookah, cocktails, and then dancing.
Oh, maybe.
When you want to transition to seeing someone again, it's very good to build up a picture of the kind of things that they do, the way they spend their time, because you might find a mutual connection. You find that you share some activities, or that you do some things that she wants to do, she does some things that you'd like to try, and then it makes it very easy to then go on and suggest the date from there and take the number. And do you have any other outdoor, like, active stuff you like to do? You
Yeah.
said volleyball, but anything else?
Yeah, I grew up in the country, so I really enjoy a lot of nature activities. I like hiking and I love fishing.
Fishing?
Fishing, yeah.
A girl who likes fishing?
It happens. Yeah,
Wow.
we exist.
That's interesting. I've never done fishing, but I love the outside as well, you know, walking in parks or hiking if you've got somewhere like that. How about bicycle?
I like that too.
Yeah. Well, that's something else we could do one day, like take some bicycles, ride out somewhere.
Yeah. That would be nice.
Cool. Are you interested in psychology?
Yeah.
Have you ever done this psychology test called the Cube? Alright, it's really interesting. Do you want to do it just right now? It takes like 1 minute and it will tell you all about your personality.
Sure.
Okay, so close your eyes and I want you to imagine that you're in some place, there's like a landscape, anything you like, and in that landscape there's a cube somewhere. And describe to me what the cube looks like.
Okay, it's silver.
Yeah,
It's floating.
okay,
It's small, like the size of a die.
okay, cool. And then somewhere in relation to the cube is the ladder. Can you describe the ladder?
Okay, it's green. It's not. It's one of these ladders, not one of these ladders.
How big is it?
Like 3 times the size of a person.
Okay, pretty big. And then somewhere in this scene there's a horse.
Okay.
And can you tell me like what it's doing and what it looks like and stuff?
It's grazing. It's a paint,
Okay.
and it looks very healthy.
Is it close to the cube or not?
It's probably 30 feet from the cube.
Okay. And somewhere there are some flowers. Tell me about the flowers.
The flowers are by the horse. The horse is eating the flowers.
Ah, that's interesting. And the final thing, somewhere there's a storm. Where is it?
In the distance, near the mountains.
Very good. All right, open your eyes. So this tells you, this tells me about your character. So the cube represents your view of yourself, and if it's very big, it means you've got a huge ego. But it's quite small, so it means you're quite humble. But then it's silver, so you think, you know, you have that self-confidence that you've got something, you know, special and a little bit shiny, and that's good. And then the ladder represents your ambitions. So the fact that it's quite big and bigger than the cube and not like under it or whatever else means that you have quite big ambitions. So the horse represents your man. So it was quite good that he's healthy and, you know, looks good, and that he's nearby, right? He's not far away, which would mean he's not on the horizon or anything. And then the flowers represent your children that you're going to have in the future. So it's good that the man is near them, that he's not like an absentee dad or something, right? But a bit strange that he's eating them. So I don't know what to think about that. The final point is positive as well. It means that you have a sunny disposition because your problems are represented by the storm and it's in the distance. You know, some people have the storm overhead and it just means that they've always got problems or that at that moment they're in a dark period in their life. So, does it sound pretty accurate?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's very cool.
This is quite interesting. It's a psychological game. There's a book on it and a lot of pickup artists have used it. It's quite an interesting psychological test. Again, like the reason it's not the best choice is it's better if you can do without it. But if you'd like some, little tricks and tools that you can carry around with you and use when necessary, this is okay and you can use it. So it doesn't destroy anything, but I'd say it's not the best option. So listen, we should meet one day, go for drinks. What do you think?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so there's my phone. Just put your number. I'll be in touch. Cool. Not the best way to go for a date because it's very general and you've had a lot of conversation, a lot of opportunity to find out things that you could do together that would be more interesting. So to go to the old traditional date is not the best option, but not that bad, so it's still okay. Okay, so I'm going to get going, but it was wonderful to meet you. And, I guess we'll meet again soon.
Yeah.
Do some stuff. I'll message you and, yeah, it was lovely to see you. So.
You too. I'll
okay,
take
bye.
your hand. Bye.
Just because a girl allows you to touch her doesn't mean you should touch her as much as possible. We need to, keep that respect and not overstep the boundary. So the minimum is good. Fast touches, soft, and not like that. Okay, so I better be going. See ya.
Okay, bye.
This one is counterintuitive, but it's exactly the right answer. The reason is that if you're too friendly at the leave and like, okay, see you again soon, it's lovely to meet you, really enjoyed it, see you, bye, like that, then it just means that she knows that you like her, she knows you're going to message her, and she's not really thinking about it. If you do the opposite and you're kind of cold, she might think, hang on, did I do something wrong there at the end? Does he really like me? Will he message me? Does he want to see me again? It just makes you look very cool and keeps her thinking about you in the interim between the time where you say bye-bye and the time when you message her and get in touch again.